Hi. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is, like everyone else said, Sgt Blindback. And of course you can see I'm in the Royal Canadian Air Force, and I'm actually posted here at 22 Wing North Bay. And I know most of you know that we have a military base up there. But I'm curious to know how many people actually know what we do up there. I mean, we sit there and we do our jobs and nothing blows up, so everyone is just kind of a little bit maybe ignorant about what we do, and I'm trying to here to explain some of the science that we use on a day-to-day basis to protect Canadians. I'm thrilled and excited to be here and be able to speak. This is my passion, this is what I like to do. And aside from my own interest in science, I have a little boy who loves dinosaurs, as only a little boy can, and a little girl who likes to experiment with applied psychology on her parents. So, like I said, Canadian Armed Forces, we use science every day. Now, my specialty is operations, which means that I get to use the tools given to us by the government to accomplish missions. So, you know, the government tells us that we need to do a thing, and we get to use the technology to do that thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Now, hopefully, I can give you an idea of the fruits of that ingenuity and the things that we can provide to regular Canadians, including here in North Bay. So I'd like to talk about radar, right? So first, used in World War II to detect incoming enemy aircraft in the Battle of Britain. We use the exact same role today, although it's a lot more advanced. We operate the North Warning System. It is a chain of radars far in the north, looking up at the airways in the Arctic to protect that airspace. Right? No longer do we work in the North Bay Underground Complex, lit by the phosphorus glow of analog radar screens. We instead employ an incredibly complex battle management system that fuses sensors and streamlines information to be digested by the crews as they are employed to sort wisps of electromagnetic energy to differentiate between clouds, birds, and giant flying pieces of metal. So, I'd like to talk about space, right? So the Royal Canadian Air Force operates something called Sapphire. So what Sapphire is a military surveillance satellite, which sounds very, very dangerous until I explain it, which it actually means that it observes other space objects. Now, space pollution is a big deal, right? Space pollution is the concept that out in orbit, we have tons of junk. We have spent rocket boosters, we have old satellites, we have just stuff out there. And what Sapphire does is it's purposely built to track those objects, find out where they are, and then we work with the Americans in the United States Space Surveillance Network to catalog exactly where they are and what orbit they're at and if they're going to descend and burn the atmosphere. This is really important to know because if we're going to send new things up there and it gets hit by one of those objects, we just make more space debris. And then more space debris, and then more, and then eventually our orbits cannot be used for something like hundreds of years while we wait all the little particulates to fall down. So that is actually a direct result of all of humanity. Something like Sapphires, which we operate, it contributes to the whole of Earth. So lastly, I'd like to talk about communications. Now, this is kind of where I'm at, and this is what bores everybody else, so please try to bear with me. So secure, reliable communications are what we need to execute our missions. In order to do anything, we need to be able to use these tools to talk to things and be able to pass information. So satellite communications we use fairly often, and we use remote-based ground radio sites. We dial into a site and we can make a radio call out of it, and then it works most of the time. Communications in the Arctic is actually very difficult when keeping with the theme of the North. Scientists are actually running experiments to better understand the impact of comms in the Arctic. When you start using radios that far north, you have a lot of challenges. You have very low temperatures, you have almost no infrastructure, and you have a very highly active ionosphere that just wreaks havoc with whatever you're trying to do. So, also in the winter you have like physical problems. Your antenna cables crack, your batteries freeze, the operators you send up there lose fingers due to frostbite. We try the best we can, and there's a lot of science that goes into trying to communicate in the Arctic. Now, my specialty, and what I do, is tactical data links. And that alphabet soup that Mike so graciously tried to explain when I had my introduction basically means that what I do is I build bridges for groups of military people to see other groups of military people. And we can share our eyes between each other. We use special radios, methods, and cryptography to ensure that it's all protected. We have a radio that can hop 77,000 times per second. We use this on a daily basis. Now, 5 minutes isn't a lot of time to talk about this, but I would like to express my gratitude for the chance to do so. And just to reassure that everybody here in 22 that North Bay, that we have people in uniform working to keep the country safe. We have the tools to do so, and ultimately, the science to do so. Thank you.